Hey, this is Step Amit. Welcome to my exorcism.io series. In this video, I'll be working through the meetup exercise from the exorcism.io Ruby track. So in this exercise, we are being asked to make part of a smart date parser. So here, we're given some examples here of descriptions of dates, like the first Monday of January 2017, the third Tuesday, the Wednesday of January 2017, the last Thursday. And we need to be able to parse to make sense of some of these things. So let's see here. Note the Monteenth, Tuesdayth are all made up words. There was a meetup whose members realized that there are exactly 7 numbered days in a month that end in teenth. So one is guaranteed that each day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, will have exactly one date that is named with teenth in every month. And so we'll have to do the teenth version, the first, the second, the third, the fourth, and the last. So let me go ahead and grab this. And all right, hop on into that directory. Start a new TeamX session for this exercise, and I'll call it Meetup. Okay, let me go ahead and open up the test file and see what we've got. All right, so inside of a meetup.rb file, we will have a class meetup that we initialize with, looks like a month and a year. And it will have a .day instance method that takes a day of the week as a symbol. And so let's see, teenth here. First, second, third, fourth, and last. And I think that's it. And what we have to return is a date that will equal the date that we're looking for. Okay, so let me go and open my test running pane and get going here. I'm going to test drive this as always, which means I will run my tests and let the failures guide what I do. And I won't do too much jumping ahead other than explicitly what the tests say to do. So, okay, here, the first thing is that the file doesn't exist because, of course, I deleted the existing file. So I will create it and swap my panes here. Now it's going to complain about the class not being initialized, meetup. So go ahead and do that. Next, I think it'll complain because our the default initialize method doesn't take any arguments, and we need an initialize method that accepts 2. And so I'm going to go ahead and set up a couple of adder readers here for the month and the year. And then that's what we're going to accept here in initialize, the month and the year. And go ahead and I'll set those instance variables. All right, next it's going to complain because we don't have an instance method day. So let me go ahead and define that. And day is also going to take a day of the week and a, let's see, I want to call this which occurrence. So this is going to be our first, second, third, teenth, fourth, last. And it's going to fail here because we need to return a day, a date. Oh, an initialized constant meetup test date. So what we actually need to do is require date. That's interesting. Why is that? And I think that's because, so now we get the error. Now we get the right error, the error that I expected, which is because we're returning nil instead of the expected date. So I don't remember this off the top of my head, but I think that date, which is in standard lib, is not included by default. And maybe it was at the time that this test was written. I really don't remember. But anyway, we now get the error that we expect. And so let me go ahead and require date here. We don't need it because our test is including it. But, you know, if this were a real class, we would really need it because we are going to be creating dates here. And so I'm just going to go ahead and create a date here called date new with year, month, and then we need to return a certain date. I'm just going to go ahead and start by giving it 13 and then returning this guy. So this will actually make that test pass. I cheated a little bit, but not too much because we need to build this out incrementally as we go. So if we check here, testing for the 19th of August, 2013, it's the same thing we just had, but it's a different month. This is not gonna work. This one passed the first time because it happened to be the 13th, which is the first of the 10th dates in a month. But in August, it wasn't in that year. So this will fail now. And so what we need to do is actually we actually need to find the right day, the right occurrence. And so what I want to do is simply start with a date for our year and our month on the 13th, right? Because that's the 13th day of the month is the 13th. There's the 12th, there's the 13th, all the way up through the 19th. And so by starting here, we can find the specific date that we're looking for. And so it's possible that we'll have to check up to 6 times because the first date might not be correct, right? So I'm just going to make a loop 6 times. And then what I will do is I will break out of the loop if date dot, and let's see, I'm looking for the weekday. And so you can get that from date with W day. And what that will return is an integer with 0 for Sunday, 1 for Monday, all the way up to 6 for Saturday. And what I want to know is if that weekday is equal to some number represented by day of week. That's what I want to know. Ignore the fact that day of week right now is a symbol and not a number. Let's just pretend that gives me what I want and treat this line as pseudocode. And so if I don't break out, that means that they don't match, right? That they that the weekday that I don't have the day of the week that I'm expecting. And so what I want to do then is I want to increment this, right? So date equals date dot next day. I think that's what I want to do, next day. So that'll simply take date and it'll increment it once. So if I start on the 13th, this will give me the 14th. And it's going to check. Of course, this isn't going to work because day of the week is a symbol. It's not an integer. And so it's going to return. So these are not going to be equal. They'll never be equal. So what I need to do is somehow translate my symbol that I've been given into an integer that I'm looking for. And that sort of lookup to me signals that I need a hash. And so for this, I'm just going to go ahead and put this into a constant, and I'll call it days of week. And use this as the key. So let me go ahead and just initialize this up here. Days of week. And so the only value I know of right now is Monday. And I know that Monday is going to be 1 because remember, Sunday is 0. So this, I believe, will work. Cool. All right, let's just go up. I'm just going to jump to skip here. I'm just going to check all of the Mondays because I think Mondays are going to work. Hang on. There we go. Okay, there's our first Tuesday. Let's not do Tuesday yet. Let's just see if these Mondays work. All right, yes. So Tuesday will fail because we are not checking. We don't have Tuesday. Wait a second. Okay, I think that was a coincidence. We don't have Tuesday in our list here yet. And so what just happened was we started on the 13th. We went up to the very last 10th and just fell out of the bottom of this loop and returned that day. And that would be the 19th. Yeah. So that was kind of a fluke there, a false positive. But this test will fail now because we're returning the 19th and it expects the 16th. So what I need to do is add Tuesday to my days of the week hash here. So let's just do that. And now all the Tuesdays are going to pass. So let's just, whoops, want to comment it out, not do that. Okay. Now, same thing. I need to add Wednesday. Right. That's going to fail. So I can add Wednesday. Wednesday. Thank you. I'll just comment out all the Wednesdays. And again, 13th. Wait a second. Oh, I haven't commented. There we go. This will fail because we will return the 19th again because we are not actually checking. We don't have Thursday in here. That'll be the 4th day of the week. You have to actually spell it correctly in order to get a match. All right, so let me comment out that Thursday, and then this one, comment out those skips. I think that's it. Those should pass. All right, now on to Friteenth, which, okay, it's the 19th, so that's false positive. So I'll skip to the one that's going to fail. And then add Friday. You know, I could just add all of the days of the week here. I might do that because, you know, really I want this to be a complete class. I want it to do everything I need it to do. At the moment, I'm being a little bit, you know, being a little anal about my TDD. Sometimes I do that just to remind myself to do it. Okay. All right. Sunteenth. Sunteenth is gonna fail. No, it's again the 19th. So it's those happen to be passing when it's the 19th because they just fall out the bottom of that loop. So if I make it, there we go. Sunday 0. Now all of the teenths should be passing. So see how long we can go here. All right, so this next one's going to fail. Test first Monday of March because we are just starting on the 13th. And, you know, this is going to be the 4th. So let's see. So instead of just starting on the 13th, we need to start on a particular day that makes sense for which occurrence we want. And so I think I just want to do the same thing here. Let's just have I want to create start days hash and give it which occurrence. And so I need to initialize that up here. Start days. And so the start days that I know about now are 10th, which starts on the 13th, and 1st now, which starts on the 1st. And actually, let me reverse these. And so all of the firsts should pass now. So let me just do comment. Let's get these ready to go. I just want to test them all. There's a lot of tests in here. I'm not going to do each one individually. I mean, you notice I'm not even reading them individually. I know these are simply testing all the firsts, lots of different permutations of it, and look, it worked. Okay, so the second will fail because we don't have a lookup for the second. So let's do that here. The second week of the month will start on the 8th. So I think that is what we need for the second. And as soon as that one passes, let's go ahead and comment out all of the seconds. Too far. All right. Seconds are happy. The third will fail. So the third will start on the 15th. Okay, let me move this here. Third will pass. Okay. All the thirds are happy. Now the fourth will fail because we're not checking that. So the fourth will begin on the 22nd. So same thing. Let's just get all these guys. All right, last. So all the force, running all the force. And they are happy. So last, yeah, last is going to be different. We got to do something else. Because last does not start on, what would this be, the 28th? 29th? Last does not start on the 29th. There's nothing, because a month can have 28 days, 29 days, 30 days, 31 days. So there's no single number that I can put here in this hash that will give me the right date back. I don't know. It's different for every month. And so start days is not going to work. What I need to do is I need to go to the first day of the next month, and I need to back up 7 days. And that will give me the final 7 days of the month. So I can't just do start days here. What I need actually is a method that I can call, and I'll name it start day. I need to pass it which occurrence. And I'll put it down here. Make it a private method. And at first, I'm just going to return this. Now, that's going to have the same single failure. Everything else should pass. So you can see one error out of 77 assertions, still 17 skips. So what I need to do here is I want to put a guard clause at the beginning of this. And if which occurrence is the symbol last, then what I want to do is I want to return the last start day. And I want the day of the month, which will be M day from a date. So I want this to give me a date, whatever last start day is. I mean, obviously it doesn't exist. To return a date. And then I'll call M day on that if which occurrence is equal to last. Otherwise, I'll just do my lookup, my hash lookup. So what does last start day look like? Well, I need a date. Date.new. And year, month. I know those things. I can't do month plus 1 or anything like that. And the reason is, let me, hang on. Open up IRB and I can just show you here. The reason is if, or date, if I make a date, let's just say year. I don't have to do that. I can just type it here. Let's say we're in December. And so the year doesn't matter. Let's just say the year is here. They're using 2013 for most of these. If my month is December, if I add 1 here, it's not gonna be able to loop around. It's not gonna give me the following month. It's gonna give me an invalid date error. So what I need to do instead is create a date and then get the next month. And see, that will give me the following month, the first day of the following month. And so that's what I want to do. Date, month, the first day of the month, next month. And then from that, I simply want to subtract 7. And when you add or subtract from a date, that integer represents a number of days. So this, let's see, is that enough? Will this work? No, what failed here? What's going on? Undefined method div for no class. Where is... Where is that happening? Let's see. Meetup 30 and initialize. Meetup line 30. Day, new day, new date. Okay, so start day is not returning what I expect here. Let's look. Oh, I need to return that. That's it. Helps if you return in your guard clause. Pro tip, return in your guard clause. Okay, so I think all these will work. Okay, another first. Let's see, the lasts. Okay, what is this? First Friday of December 2012. That's kind of a weird test to have down here at the bottom, unless I'm missing something obvious. Okay, well, that is it. Man, I don't know that I really see anything here that I would refactor. Well, I think that's it. I'm going to go ahead and submit it. All right, cool. Thanks so much for watching and for sticking through. I know these are kind of long. Hopefully this was helpful to you. And I will see you in the next video.